Today, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on Hollywood's best-kept secrets. 15 actors who lit up the screen with magnetic performances while guarding a truth that, in another era, could have ended their careers overnight. There was a time when simply being openly gay meant risking everything. Dreams dashed, contracts torn, and legacies erased. To survive, many of these stars were forced into elaborate deceptions, sham marriages, ironclad non-disclosure agreements, and even undergoing harmful conversion therapies, all to bury their authentic selves beneath Hollywood's glittering facade. Brace yourself for a journey through scandalous hidden romances, career-shattering betrayals, and tragic, untimely endings that still haunt the industry. We'll expose the stark contrast between the hyper-masculine roles these actors played on screen and the lives they led behind closed doors. Lives shaped by fear, secrecy, and the crushing weight of expectation. And just when you think you've heard it all, we'll drop the final name, a revelation so explosive, it permanently altered Hollywood's landscape. Before we begin, if you're hooked on untold truths and industry secrets, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring these stories to light. From across the pond, one actor is rewriting the rules with a blend of charm and sophistication rarely seen in Tinseltown. Jonathan Bailey isn't just a rising star. He's proof that change, however slow, is unstoppable. A classically trained stage actor with roots in Shakespearean drama, Jonathan became a household name overnight as Anthony Bridgerton in Netflix's global phenomenon. With smoldering chemistry and aristocratic poise, he redefined the leading man for a new generation. Yet few realized that off-screen, Jonathan was quietly breaking barriers of his own, as an openly gay man in an industry that once demanded silence. Unlike the closeted icons of Hollywood's past, he refused to live a double life, despite early warnings that his sexuality could typecast him or kill his leading man prospects. Agents and studio heads clung to the archaic myth that audiences wouldn't buy a gay actor in a straight love story, but Jonathan called their bluff. When Bridgerton catapulted him to fame, he stepped into the spotlight as his true self, and instead of rejection, he found a tidal wave of support. His defiance wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a seismic shift, proving that authenticity and artistry aren't just compatible, they're inseparable. Then there's Elliot Page, the Oscar-nominated actor who didn't just challenge Hollywood's norms, he shattered them. Known early in his career as Ellen Page, he stole hearts with raw, emotionally charged performances in films like Juno and Inception, all while wrestling with a private agony, the dissonance between his public persona and his true identity. In 2014, in a speech that moved audiences to tears, he came out as gay, but that was only the first layer of his truth. 6 years later, Elliot made history by announcing he was transgender, a revelation that sent shockwaves through the industry and beyond. Overnight, he became a beacon for the LGBTQ+ community, but the road wasn't easy. He's spoken candidly about the suffocating pressure of playing female roles, the dysphoria of being trapped in a body that felt foreign, and the liberation of finally living as himself. Remarkably, his career didn't just survive, it thrived. From starring in the Umbrella Academy to producing groundbreaking projects, Elliot has redefined what it means to be a leading man. His story isn't just about courage, it's a masterclass in rewriting the script, both on screen and off. Ricky Martin, the electrifying Latin music icon who set global stages ablaze with his magnetic energy and undeniable charm, is more than just a musical legend. He's a defining figure in pop culture history, with chart-topping anthems like Livin' La Vida Loca, She Bangs, and La Copa de la Vida. He dominated the late 90s and early 2000s, becoming a household name. Yet, behind the glitz and glamour, a heavy silence loomed over him. Ricky found himself imprisoned by the persona the industry had crafted. The smoldering Latin heartthrob, the untouchable sex symbol who set hearts racing. Any whispers about his sexuality were swiftly silenced by his team, and in interviews, he artfully sidestepped personal questions, preserving the illusion of the perfect heterosexual star, while battling an internal war with his truth. The pivotal moment arrived in 2010 when Ricky Martin stunned the world with a candid open letter on his website, boldly announcing that he was gay. His words weren't embellished or ambiguous, they were raw, honest, and freeing. This declaration didn't just reshape Ricky's public image. It became a beacon of hope for millions trapped in the shadows of secrecy. With profound vulnerability, he revealed that years of inner conflict, fear, and societal pressure had forced him into hiding. But what he could no longer tolerate was denying himself, and his children, the right to live openly and with dignity. The reaction was seismic. While some feigned surprise, others shrugged, saying, "We always knew." What truly resonated, however, was the outpouring of global support. Ricky didn't stop at coming out. He transformed into a fierce advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, leveraging his fame to combat the very discrimination and prejudice that had once suffocated him. Wentworth Miller, the brooding star who skyrocketed to fame as Michael Scofield in Prison Break, embodied the ideal of early 2000s masculinity: calculating, rugged, and irresistibly intense. His piercing gaze, chiseled physique, and genius escape plans made him a global obsession. Yet, while audiences idolized his on-screen persona, Wentworth's reality was starkly different: a life marred by isolation, fear, and the exhausting weight of pretense. For years, he dodged rumors about his sexuality, deflecting questions with practiced ease. The pressure to conform to Hollywood's rigid standards, to play the role of the flawless, straight-leading man, was crushing. His silence wasn't cowardice. It was survival in an industry notorious for punishing those who dared to defy norms. Everything changed in 2013 when Russia passed its infamous anti-LGBTQ+ laws, and Wentworth was invited to a film festival there. His response wasn't just a polite decline. It was a seismic, heartfelt public letter. In it, he came out as gay, declaring he couldn't, in good conscience, set foot in a country where people like him faced persecution, violence, and even death for loving whom they chose. This wasn't just a personal revelation. It was an act of defiance, solidarity, and unshakable courage. The letter instantly went viral, with Miller's bold stance celebrated as a defiant stand against systemic oppression and LGBTQ+ erasure. By 2020, he made waves once more by announcing his refusal to accept heterosexual roles, declaring he wouldn't perpetuate an industry that routinely marginalizes queer voices. While his decision ignited debate, those familiar with the suffocating weight of living a double life recognized it as a revolutionary act, one that challenged Hollywood's entrenched biases. Jim Parsons rose to superstardom as Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory, the socially awkward genius whose eccentricities made him one of television's most beloved characters. The role netted him 4 Emmys, a Golden Globe, and a place among TV's highest-paid actors. Yet behind the accolades and comedic brilliance lay a man who navigated fame with quiet intentionality. Throughout the show's run, Parsons lived truthfully but discreetly, never obscuring his identity, yet never reducing it to a spectacle. This dignified authenticity, free from performative fanfare, only deepened the admiration fans held for him. For Parsons, coming out wasn't a publicity move but a personal imperative, a rare stance in an industry where image often overshadows integrity. His career became proof that success and selfhood aren't mutually exclusive. Post-Big Bang, Parsons deliberately chose projects aligned with his values, most notably The Normal Heart, where he delivered a heart-wrenching performance as a gay activist during the AIDS crisis. The role shattered his Sheldon typecasting, revealing a profound emotional range that resonated deeply with audiences. Zachary Quinto, known for his piercing intensity as Heroes' sinister Sylar and Star Trek's logical Spock, harbored a private battle beneath his on-screen magnetism. The clash between his desire for authenticity and industry pressures reached a tipping point in 2011 after the tragic suicide of Jamie Rodemeyer, a 14-year-old bullied for being gay. Quinto, shaken to his core, penned a raw, revelatory essay coming out as gay, stating he couldn't stay silent while LGBTQ+ youth lacked visible advocates. The aftermath was transformative. Rather than facing backlash, Quinto's candor galvanized support, solidifying him as both a respected artist and a beacon for queer representation. His career flourished, with acclaimed roles in film, TV, and theater, while his activism amplified, proving that vulnerability and strength aren't opposites but allies. Neil Patrick Harris stands as one of entertainment's most versatile talents, excelling as an actor, comedian, and charismatic host. From his breakout role as the teenage doctor in Doogie Howser, MD, to his legendary portrayal of the womanizing Barney Stinson in How I Met Your Mother, and his hilarious cameos in the Harold and Kumar films, Neil consistently demonstrated remarkable range. What makes his journey particularly remarkable is how he navigated Hollywood's expectations while playing characters diametrically opposed to his true identity. For years, Neil maintained a careful silence regarding his personal life, neither confirming nor denying the persistent rumors about his sexuality. That changed dramatically in 2006 when, at the pinnacle of his career, he chose to publicly embrace his truth, announcing he was proudly gay. Off-screen, Neil built an enduring life with his partner, acclaimed chef David Burtka, becoming one of Hollywood's most admired couples. Far from hindering his career, his authenticity only amplified his success, shattering the outdated notion that gay actors can't convincingly play straight roles. Neil's story became a beacon, proving that talent transcends orientation and that living truthfully only enhances one's artistry. Sir Ian McKellen's legacy stretches far beyond his iconic performances as Gandalf and Magneto. This Shakespearean titan and British theatre legend quietly carried a personal secret for decades, concealing his sexuality not from shame, but as a necessary survival tactic in a less accepting era. The turning point came in 1988, when the UK government proposed Section 28, legislation seeking to suppress discussion of homosexuality in schools. McKellen could no longer remain silent. During a BBC radio interview, he calmly but firmly declared, "I am gay." This moment transformed him from respected actor to pioneering activist. He co-founded Stonewall UK, confronted politicians, and became a vocal advocate in schools, all while continuing to deliver unforgettable performances. McKellen's life stands as testament that one's authentic self and professional excellence aren't just compatible, but mutually reinforcing. His knighthood honored not just his artistic contributions, but his courage in paving the way for future generations. Matt Bomer epitomizes contemporary Hollywood leading man, strikingly handsome, intellectually sharp, and endlessly charismatic. From his breakout as the charming con man in White Collar to his daring performances in Magic Mike and The Sinner, Matt consistently demonstrated remarkable depth. What makes his journey extraordinary is how he handled his personal revelation. At the height of his leading man status, when conventional wisdom suggested staying closeted, Matt chose authenticity. Those in the industry quietly knew about his long-term relationship with publicist Simon Halls and their 3 children via surrogacy. But Matt maintained discretion until 2012. While accepting an award for his HIV/AIDS activism, he casually acknowledged his family with simple, powerful gratitude. No grand pronouncements, just quiet dignity. The result? Rather than facing professional setbacks, his career reached new heights. His Golden Globe-winning performance in The Normal Heart as a gay man battling AIDS showcased his full dramatic range, while his continued success in diverse roles proved that authenticity enhances, rather than limits, an actor's potential. Matt's story represents a quiet revolution in Hollywood, where talent and truth can coexist, and where personal integrity becomes professional strength. These remarkable journeys remind us that visibility matters. Each of these artists faced different challenges in their paths to authenticity, but their collective impact has helped reshape entertainment industry norms. Their courage continues to inspire new generations of performers and audiences alike. If you found these stories compelling, please like and subscribe for more content exploring the intersection of artistry, identity, and social progress. Your engagement helps amplify these important conversations. Luke Evans represents a fascinating duality in Hollywood. His commanding on-screen masculinity perfectly contrasts with the quiet authenticity of his personal journey. The Welsh-born actor first honed his craft in London's musical theatre scene before conquering Hollywood with his rich baritone voice, aristocratic bearing, and timeless handsome features. From his brooding Dracula to the dashing Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, and action-packed roles in Fast and Furious and The Hobbit, Luke effortlessly embodied traditional masculine ideals that led audiences to assume heterosexuality. Yet unlike many of his peers, Evans never actively concealed his true identity. While immersed in London's theatre world, he lived openly without pretense, feeling no need to mask his sexuality. However, upon entering the Hollywood machine, he encountered the all-too-familiar industry warnings. Stay quiet, don't make waves, protect your leading man potential. Luke adopted temporary discretion, not from shame or fear, but as strategic self-preservation. Crucially, he refused to participate in the charade of fake relationships or manufactured tabloid romances that so many actors employ. His silence became its own form of quiet rebellion, a way to maintain integrity while navigating an industry not yet fully accepting. In interviews, he consistently maintained that his craft should speak for itself, resisting the notion that an actor's sexuality needs labeling or explanation. Colman Domingo stands as a towering example of perseverance and authenticity in an industry still grappling with intersectional barriers. As a gay black man from Philadelphia, he's faced and overcome countless unspoken obstacles to emerge as one of contemporary cinema's most respected character actors. Whether in Fear the Walking Dead, Euphoria, or his transformative performance as Bayard Rustin, Colman brings unparalleled emotional intelligence and razor-sharp precision to every role. What makes his journey particularly remarkable is how he's navigated multiple marginalized identities in a business where black actors already fight for recognition. And being openly gay presents additional professional challenges. Yet Domingo has never allowed these realities to limit his trajectory. He approaches his identity with neither flamboyance nor concealment, simply with matter-of-fact authenticity. Married to designer Raoul Akhtanov, Colman discusses his personal life with refreshing normalcy, devoid of either shame or grandstanding. His very existence in Hollywood spaces, as an successful black gay man, constitutes a quiet revolution. He demonstrates that sometimes the most powerful statement isn't a dramatic proclamation, but the unassuming confidence of living one's truth without apology. In an industry still wrestling with representation, Colman's career serves as both inspiration and proof that talent paired with integrity will always find its way. These contrasting yet equally powerful approaches to authenticity, Luke's strategic discretion and Colman's unflinching openness, reveal there's no single right way to navigate identity in the public eye. Both men have forged successful careers on their own terms, expanding what's possible for LGBTQ+ performers in mainstream entertainment. Their stories remind us that representation matters precisely because it comes in countless valid forms, each as meaningful as the next. The entertainment industry grows richer when artists no longer feel forced to choose between their truth and their craft. Dan Amboya's story represents one of Hollywood's quiet revolutions, a testament to how personal authenticity can reshape industry norms. Though not yet a mainstream star, his career trajectory has significantly influenced perceptions of LGBTQ+ representation in entertainment. First gaining notice for his portrayal of Prince William in William and Catherine, a royal romance, Dan built a respectable filmography with appearances in Younger and The Blacklist, often cast as the quintessential leading man thanks to his classic handsome features and refined demeanor. This made his 2017 decision to publicly come out as gay particularly impactful, challenging the outdated assumption that only straight actors can convincingly play romantic male leads. Dan's choice to step out of the shadows wasn't about seeking attention, but about refusing to be confined by others' expectations. He courageously redefined what it means to be a Hollywood prince, not someone who maintains a fabricated image, but an artist who embraces truth regardless of professional consequences. The overwhelmingly positive response from both peers and fans underscored how industry attitudes were evolving. Dan became an important figure for emerging actors grappling with the tension between career ambitions and personal authenticity. By openly discussing his journey, the weight of concealment, the liberation of self-acceptance, he helped normalize LGBTQ+ identities in entertainment. His ultimate hope? That future generations of queer performers won't need to make dramatic coming-out announcements, but can simply exist as their true selves without career repercussions. Tom Hulce's legacy presents a more complex chapter in Hollywood's LGBTQ+ history, one that reflects both the constraints of his era and quiet perseverance. Bursting onto the international stage with his electrifying, Oscar-nominated performance as Mozart in Amadeus, Hulce established himself as one of his generation's most gifted actors. Yet behind the artistic triumphs lay a personal reality he felt compelled to conceal. Unlike some contemporaries who risked openness, Hulce maintained strict privacy about his sexuality throughout his acting peak, deflecting media speculation with dignified silence. This wasn't born from internal shame, but from the harsh professional realities of 1980s-90s Hollywood, where openly gay actors faced severe typecasting limitations. Only in 2008, long after stepping back from mainstream acting, did Hulce casually confirm his sexuality, not with a formal announcement, but through simple acknowledgement when asked. This understated revelation highlighted a crucial truth. His decades of silence represented not personal denial, but strategic navigation of an unforgiving industry. Post-Amadeus, Holtz charted an equally impressive creative path behind the scenes, evolving into an acclaimed theater producer. His Tony Award-winning work championing diverse stories on Broadway demonstrated how artistic advocacy can take many forms. While his acting choices were once constrained by industry prejudice, his producing career actively expanded opportunities for marginalized voices. Holtz's journey, from constrained performer to influential creative force, mirrors Hollywood's own gradual evolution toward inclusion. Both Amboya's visible authenticity and Holtz's strategic discretion represent valid responses to the complex intersection of identity and artistry, reminding us that progress often comes through multiple paths. Their contrasting but equally impactful careers underscore how each generation of LGBTQ+ artists builds upon the struggles of those who came before, gradually transforming entertainment into a space where talent matters more than orientation. The true measure of their legacy lies not in how they navigated constraints, but in how they helped dismantle them for those who followed. Wilson Cruz stands as both an accomplished performer and a groundbreaking figure in LGBTQ+ television history, carving out space for queer representation when few dared to do so. Born in New York to Puerto Rican parents, Wilson navigated the dual challenges of being both openly gay and Latino in an entertainment industry rife with discrimination. From his earliest days, he understood that simply living authentically constituted an act of resistance. This courageous mindset led him to make television history in 1994 when he became the first openly gay actor to portray a gay teenager in a primetime American series, bringing depth and humanity to Ricky Vasquez in My So-Called Life. At a time when LGBTQ+ characters were either absent or reduced to stereotypes, Wilson's raw, nuanced portrayal of a young man grappling with identity, racism, and family conflict resonated powerfully with audiences. His performance didn't just entertain, it validated countless queer viewers who had never seen their experiences reflected on screen. However, this groundbreaking role came with profound personal costs. When Wilson came out to his family, his father disowned him, leaving the young actor homeless and struggling to survive. Yet even amidst these hardships, Wilson transformed his pain into purpose, emerging as a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and representation. Beyond his memorable roles in Party of Five, Star Trek, Discovery, and 13 Reasons Why, Wilson dedicated himself to activism, working tirelessly to support queer youth and combat racial inequities in Hollywood. His journey, from trailblazing actor to influential advocate, demonstrates how art and activism can intertwine to create lasting social change. Rupert Everett's career presents a stark case study of the professional risks LGBTQ+ actors once faced in Hollywood, even at the peak of their success. The British actor first captivated global audiences with his sophisticated wit and magnetic screen presence, particularly through his performance in Another Country as a gay student navigating the repressive confines of the British elite. This role, mirroring aspects of his own life, established Everett as both a talented actor and an unofficial LGBTQ+ icon. His star power reached new heights with My Best Friend's Wedding, where his scene-stealing turn as Julia Roberts' gay best friend became a cultural touchstone of 1990s cinema. Yet behind the acclaim lay an uncomfortable truth. Everett's openness about his sexuality during this era came with significant career consequences. At a time when few leading men were out, his refusal to hide his identity, combined with his sharp, unapologetic commentary on Hollywood's hypocrisy, made him a controversial figure in the industry. While praised for his talent, Everett found himself gradually sidelined from the leading man roles his abilities warranted, a sobering reminder of the price many queer performers paid for authenticity. His experiences, both celebrated and cautionary, highlight the complex trade-offs LGBTQ+ artists navigated during an era of rapid social change but lingering industry prejudice. Everett's journey, from rising star to outspoken critic of Hollywood's double standards, remains an essential chapter in understanding how far entertainment has come, and how far it still must go, in embracing queer talent without reservation. Rupert Everett's story reveals a sobering truth about Hollywood's historical treatment of LGBTQ+ actors, serving as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration. What many don't realize is that Everett boldly came out as gay in the 1980s. An era when such honesty virtually guaranteed professional suicide in the entertainment industry. While most of his contemporaries chose to remain closeted to protect their careers, Everett defiantly embraced his truth, becoming one of the first major actors to do so during this notoriously intolerant period. The professional consequences were immediate and severe. In numerous candid interviews, Everett disclosed how leading man offers evaporated overnight after his coming out. Studio executives and casting directors, who had previously championed him for dashing romantic leads, suddenly deemed him unbelievable in heterosexual roles. The actor has poignantly reflected that had he remained closeted, he likely could have achieved the same level of stardom as his contemporary Hugh Grant. Yet despite these career setbacks, Everett's unwavering commitment to authenticity created ripples that would eventually help transform the industry. He continued delivering exceptional performances that showcased his remarkable range, gradually forcing Hollywood to recognize that talent and sexuality are not mutually exclusive. While paying a heavy personal price, Everett's courage helped dismantle barriers, making it marginally easier for subsequent generations of gay actors to work openly. His journey embodies the painful transition period when the entertainment industry began, however reluctantly, to confront its own prejudices.